Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how to make this pop-up slider card. The original idea, as far as I can work out, is from a Dutch Stampin' Up demonstrator by the name of Annette Elias. She did a video showing this just over 3 years ago now. It's absolutely delightful. It was difficult to try and work it out because the video was in Dutch. And it was in centimetres as well, which is the wrong way round for me, so I had to take centimetres and then convert that into literal inches and then into my sort of inches. So it's been a challenge, but for this card it is beautiful, and a big thank you to Annette for sharing the original. So what happens is, as you open up the card, now you're not going to see much, really, it's not a good position for actually seeing the card from here. Okay. You might be thinking, well, where's the pop-up? Where's the slider? How's that working? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it slightly sideways, where you do get to see exactly what's happening. Okay? It's absolutely beautiful. It is so nice and smooth as it opens and closes. So this is what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to be doing more or less the same design. The Designer Series paper that I've used for this one is called Pond Lane, and it's all part of a bundle with the charming duck pond stamp set and the matching dies to go with it. I have concentrated on using the Designer Series paper because there's a lot of work involved in this. So this has been die cut from the Designer Series paper. That's Designer Series paper. The little duck there has been cut from the paper, and so have these. This is all paper here. Okay, but the same ducks you can actually stamp and die cut. I do have some here that I've done, but I needed quite a lot of this for this card, so I thought it was quicker for me to be able to do the die cuts from the paper. But I'm really pleased with this. I think it's brilliant. I've got another 3 cards that I could show you, but this is the one that I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to start off by showing you the card pieces that you'll be needing. The inches I'm going to be giving you will be the inches for A4 cardstock users. I will put my own centimetres in the box below, but if you want to, you can go and see Annette's video. I'll put a link in the box below so you can pick up her centimetres. She's obviously far more expert at doing that than I am, although if you're happy to follow mine, then mine will work. I will also be putting inches in the box below that are suitable for letter size cardstock users. Okay, as I say, I've done quite a few pieces in advance, but I will explain to you exactly how I did those pieces. So to start off with, you need a card piece that measures 4 1/8 inches by 11.5 inches, and I'm using Lost Lagoon. The sliding mechanism, you need a piece that is 1.5 inches by 10.25 inches. For the band, you need a piece of cardstock that measures 2 inches by 5 1/8 inches. Now in this card, you could do more decorating if you wanted to. For example, that piece down there could be decorated. The little side panels, you could possibly decorate this, but I wouldn't, because as it slides in and out, just in case it gets caught, and also it will make it thicker, so I'm not sure that it will actually go through. If anybody tries doing that bit and it's successful, I'd really like to know. Right, now for the front of the card, you need, the middle layer is basic white, and this measures 3 7/8 inches by 5.5 inches. You will need a piece of the Designer Series paper, which measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches. That's not in screen. Let's bring it over this side. And then you will need 4 strips of basic white cardstock, which measure 1 inch by 5.5 inches, and then 4 strips, the top layer for those, which measure 7/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches, and I've used the same design as I'm using on the front of my card. And then you need a piece of basic white cardstock, and this is for the middle layer there, and this measures 1 5/8 inches by 4 1/2 inches, so this is on the left hand side. And you need some Designer Series paper, which I'm calling Design 2, and that measures 1 1/2 inches by 4 3/8 inches, just one piece of that. And then the opposite side, which you can't see, and Annette didn't actually decorate that piece, so you could leave that one out if you want to, but as I go through you will see that I actually use that as a positioning aid, just so that I can get a guide where things need to go. So if you're going to do this, it's basic white and it measures 1 5/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches. And then you need Designer Series paper, again Design 2, and this measures 1 1/2 inches by 5 3/8 inches. The other Designer Series paper I've used is this design here for this layer. This also is a Designer Series paper, so just the pack on its own with the dies is amazing, but if you prefer to do your own stamping, then I do recommend the stamps, because as you can see I have done them and they do come out really beautifully. So I'm going to start off with showing you how I did the front bit, which is this one here. I've given you the white layer and this, but you need a design there. I've picked out quite a few pieces here that you need, that I need to show you what I'm doing. Right, okay, so this was the design I've used for this one. This one I'm going to try and see if I can use this one. So what I'm going to do is the dies for the Charming Duck Pond, I'm using this one. And what I did was I took a couple of the ducks and one of the baby ducks. Let's move that out of the way. And I positioned this over obviously the other design, and trying to decide, because that would actually be going over there, not that makes much difference, but do I really want it all to be blue there, or can I get some of the leaves in, the lily pads? I could do, in fact I don't like this quite as much because there isn't any of this extra in it, but I'm going to try it because it may look really good like that. Unless I try it, I'm not going to know. Before I move on, I want to show you the ducks and everything that I done. What I did was I went through the Designer Series paper. Now there are two different designs, these are both the same, but there are two different designs with a white background with these ducks on it. Now these ducks can be die cut from there and from there, and the baby is there and the baby is also there. But on the other sheet you get even more. This you can die cut. Okay, whoops, don't fall on the floor. Okay, and then it goes on like that. When I've done this, quite often what I do is I don't like the backing of my Designer Series paper being visible on my creatures in case I want to use them on dimensionals. So what I do is I use our thick white cardstock and I die cut plain shapes like I've done here, and then I adhere these on the back, and it makes them really nice and sturdy. And when I was die cutting, also this one that's going on the front, I also die cut another two of this shape without the stamping and adhered them on top of each other. So when it's sitting on here, you can see a nice little bit of dimension without actually using any dimensionals. It's just another technique, you don't have to do that obviously. So let me just move those back again. I don't have a complete sheet of this the other design of here, because I went through and I cut all the bits off, and then I cut out all the leftovers, so you do get these on the other ones, which are really cute. I think it's an absolutely fantastic set of designer series paper, as that one flutters down to the floor. Right, so I'm going to do this, and another piece that I need to die cut is this one here, and I took that from this sheet, and what I did was I took the dies, which are from Thoughtful Expressions, which have retired, although the stamp set hasn't, which is a shame because it's got some beautiful dies on here. But any circle, any fancy shape that you've got, that you can balance on here. So that's the smaller one. Let me put that one over there. Don't think I'll need those again. So what I did was, because this is going to be my smaller one, I positioned it where I thought it might look good, and then I took two ducks, and these two aren't as easy as doing those two, but I want to change it around this time. Okay, so I positioned it where the ducks would be on the grass. I didn't want them walking on water. Okay, so that's where it needs to be cut. I did try cutting up here. I didn't try cutting, I mean I tried the layout, but it really didn't work out very well. I thought the ducks were too big for that part of the scenery. Okay, so once I'd positioned this, I actually went over here somewhere, which is what you can see here. Okay, so that's what I've die cut. And when you do this, if you're quite happy with random, just do your die cutting. If you're like me, a little bit OCD, I make sure that I get the big round top and bottom, and then I die cut it like that. Okay, which I have already done ahead of time. Okay, so that's more or less the same design as that one. That's a bit smaller than that one, but it's more or less the same. And I've also die cut this. Okay, so they're ready to go. So if you've got these dies, they are dies number 4 and 5. I always start counting my layering dies from the middle. Smaller the die, smaller the number. So that's 4, that's 5. I've done that bit as well. I think that's probably about all the bits I needed to show you. So first of all, I need my big shot up for this one. You don't need to die cut it from there. This is the one you need to die cut it from. Okay, so I'll just pick this up. Don't want to put my machine on there. Now on this one, because it's quite a fancy, there's quite a lot of detail there, I do use a shim with it. And on this one, in fact, oh no, I can't now, can I? I'm going to put it back here. I'm just leaving a gap all the way round. And this is my shim. Let's put that on top of there. This is going to knock my glass of water over if I'm not careful. Let's move that. There we go. If you have any questions about any of the pieces that I've prepared ahead of time, please email me. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Now I keep that just in case, because that's quite a decent piece there. I'll cut all those bits off, but in case I want any extra little bits, like for example, this little lily pad actually does fit back into that bit there. You can't see it, if you can, that bit there. I won't be using it because I rather leave there's a pink lily that shows through that little gap. Oh, is that the same one? Okay, so let's move this out of the way. I don't think I'll need that again. Okay, all the dies over there, and my silicone mat are even. Right, what's going to happen? Where's my other piece? Here we go. So when this goes on here, I'm going to try and position it. Oh, it's not that one. Oh, I did say that I would use it, didn't I? In which case I will. I'd get a bit of greenery up there, wouldn't I? But then it covers... Does it matter covering the duck up? Yes, it does really. Right, okay. Excuse me while I talk to myself. I like talking to myself because we never argue. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, got to decide where I'm going to cut this piece of paper, because obviously it's far too big. So if I decide that I'm going to... Can I come right down to the edge? Over a bit? No. Just position it where you think it looks nice. I'm happy for the bulrushes to come over a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put pencil mark there, and pencil mark there. Now I know I need my piece of paper smaller than the pencil marks. I'll bring my trimmer over, and what I'm going to do is, I have to be careful because of this piece here, in which case it's probably useful to have that to fill it in again, because that really is very close to the edge. Where was my pencil mark? There. Okay, so my pencil mark, that's where it would cut, and that measures 3/16, so I'm going to 1/4 of an inch, and I'm doing a small piece there because this is so close to the edge. I just double check that before I go on. Yes, that's going to be good, so I'm not going to cut any more off of that. If I do that, bring that down a bit. Yep, okay, so this is my next pencil line, and I'm just going to move that over about 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, that's about 1/4 of an inch. And then this one, cut the end off, didn't I? Silly Billy. So let's put that back on. We can see where the pencil mark was. No, that's the top end. Silly Billy. Right, here we go. There we go. Okay, so that's my pencil mark just there. Just there, so I'm going to move that over a bit. Again, only about 1/4 of an inch. That's there. That's about there. The last thing I want to do is cut this too short, so I can't get a full picture in, and that would be a whole sheet wasted. Okay, so let's attach this. Very nearly gone too short there. Right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put glue all around the back. The ducks that are on the blue background, those can't be die cut. It's the two different design sheets with the white background that can be die cut out, the ones that I've used. That's got to go onto there, that's right. Right, so first of all I'm putting my glue all around the edge to make sure that I put glue all over that piece. Making sure I pay a little bit of attention to the reeds. This silicone mat is absolutely brilliant. It will stop my DSP from sticking. Right, now that I've done that all the way round, I'm just going to do the rest of it. There we go. In fact, I should have left that bit for the time being, but never mind. Oops. It was a lot easier to cut that other design out. Right, now you can just about, I don't know whether you can see that, you can just about see the gap underneath there. I think you can just about see that. So what I'm going to do, if I can find it, whatever happened to that little lily pad that was die cut out, I'm going to stick it back again. Well, I'm not going to spend time searching for it now, but I will come back to that. So now I'm going to put this onto my white middle layer. Yeah, I should have just done the circle bit first, so I could stick this piece on and then come back with the rest of this. And there was a bit of a big blob there, so I'm just going to very quickly dab this off onto a piece of white scrap paper, and then pop this on. Okay. If I can't find the lily pad for that one, I've got one that I kept from earlier on. I'm sure I saved all the other bits from the, there it is, see it, there we go. Once I'd finished die cutting all the ducks that I wanted, I sectioned them all off and then cut all the green bits as well. I doubt if I'll use them, but you know what it's like, you don't keep them and then you think, oh, I could have done. Okay, so just put a little bit of blue in there. Oops. There we go. So that doesn't matter now that that was a bit close to the edge. So before we move on, we're going to do some scoring. And I don't think we need the trimmer anymore, so I'm going to do my scoring with my scoreboard. So with this piece, your longest piece, your biggest piece, you need to score this at 5 3/4 inches. And then the 10 1/4 long piece, you need to score this at 7/8 of an inch, 5 3/4 inches, 7 1/2 inches, 8 inches. Whoops, it's coming off there. Good job, that's a mechanism and that'll be covered. And 9 3/4. Okay, so if you've got one end that's got a 1 inch panel and the other end you've got a 1/2 inch panel. And on this one, which I'm calling the band mechanism, you need to score at 1/2 inch and 4 5/8. 4 5/8, yes. Can't read my own writing. It's bad, isn't it? Okay, so you've got the, I believe that's half an inch either, 7/8, no, half an inch either end. Okay, so that's all the scoring we need to do. So let's get these folded, and we need our bone folder. So for this one, both pieces get folded back. Use your bone folder to give them a good crease, making sure that they line up beautifully. And then your main card, fold that in half. I couldn't find many videos on YouTube that made this card, but I did see one. I think I didn't have a chance to actually pop onto it and have a proper look, but I think it's been done this way, which would be quite interesting. So that's your main card, and then this one with your wide panel this end and your narrow panel this end, you want to fold all down and then this one up. But before we're going to do anything thoroughly with this, what I do recommend that you do is on the one where you've got the big panel, the one that's sticking up, not any of these that are curling round, the big one, cut off a tad. And for me on this, the tad is going up as far as, let me bring this down a bit, is going up as far as this brown edge here, but just so you can see a little bit of it. It's probably something like 1/32 or 1/64 of an inch. Okay, very, very narrow. So I'm going to start adhering some of these pieces onto my card. First of all, this one. Oh, that was a bit of glue off of my silicone mat, wasn't it? I only remove them because I don't want it to finish up with any bumps there. I think that looks right with all the blue background. I forgot that it would have the ball rushes from the die cut. So yeah, I think that works. So there we go, that's that one. Now with the thin ones, you can put 2 of them on. So this design, I think I've done it all the right way, haven't I? So I'm going light to dark on all of these. Okay, so let's do 2, and that's on this side. Okay, so just leave same size gap all the way round. We've got the light ones at that end. I think that needs to be pulled down a bit, doesn't it? Are you going to let me pull you down? Yes. That looks better. Now, don't put this one in, which is the smaller one. Okay, that will be going there. But the one that we do want to have in place is this one. And the reason I say it helps to line up is it means you can put this one in position where it's going to go in relationship to these 2 here. You can see the gaps to the right. Not that it's going to be adhered this far, it's going to go down that end, but it just helps to position this one. Okay, So let's put this one in. It's not going to be the end of the world if it isn't absolutely identical. Now we're going to come back to those two pieces, and we're going to come back to that one. What we need to do is this. Now this is the crucial bit. One of my cards didn't work out quite correctly, and I had to go back to the drawing board to find out why. And what's going to happen is this is going to be adhered over here. So first of all, mark here and here at 1 3/4 inches. So that's there. And that is there. That's approximately where it will be going. Now this piece here, this is a short piece on your the bit that everything's going on the inside, not that long one. This has got to adhere on the inside of this, which is why it's a good idea to get this panel down so you can position that in the middle there. Okay, it's the same width as this here. Okay, so do that one first. The only problem I find with trying to follow instructions from a non-English video is that the demonstrator may be giving some great advice which, if you don't understand language, you miss out on, and that may well have happened with Annette's video. So I persevered with this. Took a lot of work to get there. Now when you put this onto here, you want to make sure that none of this comes over the top nor over the bottom. So let's hold that one still. And then that one there. That one there. Okay. Just make sure it folds over nicely. So now what's going to happen is this piece is going to go like this, and it's going to get adhered like that. So just check before you go any further that that line there, the one that you cut a small tad off, is going to line up with this. You don't want it going over. Now, lining it up, what that means is when the card closes, hold on, this is when the card is open, okay, so when the card closes, which means that will come over like that, goes down, you don't want this bit coming over the edge. Now one of my cards I'm going to show you does, which is when I had to go back to the drawing board. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now what I'm doing, I want to adhere these two pieces down now. So I need to know that this here is not going to come over the edge. I put it right towards the edge. I am leaving a tad visible there. I'm also going to make sure that this, I've got the same white there and the same white there, so I know that this is all going to line up. Yep, that's good. Happy with that. So what I'm going to do, you could use Stampin' Seal with this, or double-sided tape. That one and that one. Now this is actually lining up at my 1 3/4. So I could just have followed those marks. Just tuck that under. It's sticking on here. It's not going right the way through to the other side. it's not going onto the back. Okay, it's not there, it's folded under itself here. Okay, so this is your mechanism, and when it's closing it's not going over the edge there. Now mine here, I'm going to cut another tad off because can you see that where that line is coming, it's going over that fold line. So I'm going to cut another tad off because I want it to fall short of that. I'd rather it fell short by quite a bit rather than being too tight, because that really will affect your mechanism. So you can do this just by gently opening your card up, popping that down and sliding that back in again. Let me show you this. Okay, so I've lined this card up here so that I know it's straight. Again, I'm lining up onto that brown mark. Go back, yeah, just show, just let a little bit show through. And I might cut this with just a pair of scissors. There we go, did it. If you want to do that with freehand with scissors, you can. It's not going to be seen, so if it goes a little bit wonky, it's not the end of the day. Here we go, that should be fine. Yep. Okay, so now, to get this bit done, just hold that flat, all nice and straight. Okay, I've gone a bit far down here, but at least both of these are the same, more or less. And normally, as far as I'm concerned, Tombow sticks straight away, but because this is a mechanism, I just give it a couple of, well, 15-20 seconds or something to make sure it gets a grip. Okay. So when you've done that and you hold this up, you should find that you've got a nice triangle there. Okay. So now what we can do, we can put this one in. Okay, so you'll have a gap between there. Annette's card, she actually used a stamp set and set of dies that were hearts. It was a really pretty card actually. It was very pretty. Now this, to get this one adhered in here, right, I've got white, the darker whites there, so I'm going to put darker whites in the middle. Slide this under. Don't forget you've got a little ridge there where this is folded back. So what I do, in fact, I just put glue on a little square here, and then making sure I pay attention to what I'm doing with that square, I slide that through. Get that positioned where I think it should go, and then let that one down. Make sure it just matches up there. Okay, and then for, oops, don't move. And then for this one, just put a square of glue there. Doesn't matter how far you go down. It doesn't affect the mechanism at all. Okay, so that's that one. And doing white in the middle, so do that one. I do feel that maybe this card could have been done as part 1 and part 2. So I could have actually shown you all the bits and pieces that I've done for it. Let me know what you think. Would you rather have it as part 1 and part 2, or are you quite happy with me showing you the bits that I did in advance? Okay, just put glue on that one. That one. So there we go. That's how a card actually made. So the other bits that I did ahead of time were the sentiments. Now the happy birthday was from Adventurous Sky, is that one. The sending hugs was from Hearts and Hugs, what did I say, sending a big hug. And the die to cut these out, this is a current set, I used that middle one there. And the Heart and Hugs does come with its own set of dies as well. Okay. And don't forget, matching stamp sets and bundles in the new ones in the new catalogue, you do get 20% off till the end of June. So first of all, I'm going to do my happy birthday. I think I'll just do it there. I do quite like this. I didn't think I would, but I do. I thought there was going to be too much blue there, but I think it's worked out nicely. Right. And this is the one that I've put on 2 other layers of the thick white cardstock because it gives it some extra dimension. Let's make sure that looks straight. Oops. Yep. And I put a little baby on the end there, which I thought looked rather cute. And they're white here, as I said earlier, because I die cut plain shapes to put on the back. So you can't see the whatever's at the back there, you just see white, which makes it look so much nicer. Right, now in here, let's do this one first, shall we? Right, so I'm going to pop this on. I always make sure whichever bit I put at the top of my die, like I always use the bigger bit. I never put up like, well, I did once actually, but I prefer to have the big one. Then I do the matching with this as well. But you can tip them the other way. It does give a different look. I can see my pencil marks on there as well. This is because I was playing around earlier to find the easiest way to describe lining this up. Not that I think anybody would have noticed that, but I do. Okay, now on this one, what did I have on the inside? So both of them facing each other. So let's have one this way this time. And the baby walking in advance. Yep, I like that. Well, it doesn't matter if it goes off the edge, that looks quite nice, quite relaxed. On the other side, what I'm thinking is just have 2 big ducks just facing each other, like Mum and Dad. Do you work out stories when you're doing animals and things like that? Okay, so these are the 2. I thought that would look quite nice, wouldn't it? Maybe we could have a baby down here somewhere. What else did I put? Oh, I've got that. That's right. Oh yes, very nice. That worked out better than I thought. It looks as if he's saying to her, sending you a hug. Right, now that is in the centre of that bit, but these won't. As you can see, I didn't line that one up very well. Can you see that? I think so. I probably won't have a video for you for the next 2 or 3 weeks because I'm going away on holiday. I was hoping to make another video before I go, but that's highly unlikely now. And I think going forward, I think because I've always believed that doing something like this, posting a blog, doing a Facebook post, whatever, they should always be consistent. It was one of the things that was really driven home to us when in the early days. So I'm going to do one video every 2 weeks now. I'm currently not getting time to do other jobs that I should be doing. For those of you who have subscribed and you've clicked on the the bell, you will always get an email to let you know once I've done video. Right now, must stop talking for a minute. To get this bit on here, because I've used the big bump at top and bottom, I know where the centre of this is, which is, it's got to go over that. And equally, because we've got these as guides, we can work out which is the centre. If it's not good enough, you want something a bit more, you can look at that and that to come halfway down this bit, because we have really worked hard at trying to make sure things are in the centre, and this is why on this particular card. Okay, so I'm going to put that. Can I come over the screen without putting my head underneath? Okay, I think that's probably it. Close it to grip it. I think that's got to come over a bit. That's better. What else did I do? Anything else? Remembered that. I think there's plenty of room for somebody to write their greeting on the back, but you could put something special on there as well if you wanted to. I think there's enough on this card, which I'm really very, very pleased with. So that's that one. My next favourite one is this one, where unfortunately Designer Series Paper is still available, but the stamp set isn't. So you could still make this. I've used gold in there. I said to you last week that I was going to try using up my specialist papers. This I think is absolutely great. I really love this one. Okay. This is the one that went wrong. I'll show you why. One of them is because it's sticking out at the side there. Okay, that should not have happened. And also, that is very wonky. That should have been more, well, it's just wrong. I don't know what I did wrong there, but, you know, for somebody who didn't know what that was meant to be like, I think that still looks good. But I couldn't send it to another card maker. They would know that that was a mistake. And this is my first one. This is my masculine one. And this was using Adventurous Sky or something. Oh, Adventurous Sky, yes. These were from the dies. That's from the stamp set. Okay, so this shows you that you can use a different shape there. That one worked out really well. I was pleased with that. But you see, I didn't decorate that one. It was only as I was working my way through that I found by having that one, it made it easier to line everything up. So there we go. That's today's video. I hope you like it, and I really, really hope you give it a try. There is a lot to it, but if you're making a card to send to somebody, you obviously think a lot of that person, and therefore they're worth it. Okay. As I say, all the measurements will be in the box below, A4 inches and centimetres and letter size inches. I'll also put all the products that I've used in the box below for this card. If I have time, I will put the products in the box, no, on my blog for these ones, okay, just in case. If I leave anything unanswered, please email me at janb@janbcards.com and I'd be happy to answer your questions. And if you place an order with me on my online Stampin' Up store, which is open 24/7, please remember to use the June HOSTESS code. There will be a new code as from July, which you'll be able to find on my blog. I always keep that one totally up to date. So many thanks for joining me today. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I appreciate your support. Look forward to being with you again very soon. Take care. Cheerio.